Tony Fauci is still running around free instead of hanging on the end of a noose somewhere.
Now to share her story. Nikki, thank you so much for coming on the Stu Peters Show. We're so grateful to have you here today. We're so sorry that this has happened to you. There is a link to donate to Nikki and her medical bill fund. Nikki, walk us through a little bit about what happened back in 2001 when you received your first Moderna shot.
When I received my first one, it was January 15th, 2021. And only had some arm soreness, didn't have any issues other than that. But my second one in February on the 12th, I had my second Moderna shot, and then within 36 hours had nausea, vomiting, and then the days after that started having more difficulty breathing. And by 5 days after the shot, was in the hospital, and exactly a week later was on the ventilator for the first time due to respiratory failure. And then there was a whirlwind of events that happened after that. Between pretty much February and June of last year, I was in 5 different hospitals, had 4 different life flights, was on the ventilator 5 different times. The last time they could not get me off the ventilator because I had developed laryngospasms. My throat was closing. And so they had to put in a trach, which I still have the stent right now to maintain it. So when I have these laryngospasms randomly, if I did not have this opening, I wouldn't be able to breathe because no air comes up. Also during this time, I had developed blood clots, had developed multi-system inflammatory response syndrome. I developed neurogenic bladder where I couldn't feel when I was full or when I had to void. I developed different things like neurological as far as difficulty walking, motor control, GI issues where food intolerance, I could not eat without vomiting, ended up with a feeding tube. And then multitude of other things. Those are just kind of the highlights. And since then, it has not stopped. It's been kind of like a cycle. This year, I've already had 4 hospitalizations and 1 life flight. And all since this 7 different surgeries or procedures to try to manage the problems that had arose after this cascade of events.